What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a little bit of a follow-up video from the Akitio Node unboxing. So I've had time to test out the Akitio Node with a GTX 1080 paired with a Thunderbolt 3 laptop that has a 6700 HQ, 16 gigs of RAM and all that kind of stuff. So I've compared the results of the Akitio Node Thunderbolt 3 with the laptop together versus the internal GTX 1060 of the laptop. And that's ultimately what you guys were asking for, is to see how the comparison is there. On top of that, what I decided to do is go ahead and, because we're going to talk about if an eGPU setup is a good option for you. So on top of that, I also included benchmarks from a used Dell Optiplex that I got off of Craigslist, which costs the exact same price as the Akitio Node. So just to go over full specs, the MSI laptop that I used, i7 6700 HQ, 4 cores, 8 threads, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and it has an internal GTX 1060. So that's one benchmark we ran. The next is with the 1060 disabled and a 1080 into the Akitio Node Thunderbolt enclosure. And then the third benchmark is just that same 1080 into a full desktop that costs the same as the Akitio Node. This desktop is featuring an i7 6770 non-K-SKU'd, 8 gigs of DDR3, and a 500 gig regular hard drive, and of course a GTX 1080. So the price for the 1080 and the Node costs about the same as the price for this desktop and the 1080. So I mean, it's all, I think it's pretty decent relative comparison. So let's take a look at the benchmarks and then we'll talk about it. Okay guys, so as you can see by the benchmarks, the laptop with the internal GTX 1060 is pretty much, depending on the game, right there in the same ball field as the Akitio Node with the 1080 going through Thunderbolt 3 to that same laptop. So ultimately the question is, between those two setups, is what are you going for? You know, I was trying it to see if using, you know, because the internal 1060 in that laptop, if you're playing a hard game, it can get kind of loud. So the idea was, could you use a Thunderbolt 3 eGPU sort of as a docking station so you can game a lot quieter and not wear out the internal GPU of the laptop? The answer to that is yes, you can, but you're not going to get much better performance, and that really won't justify the let's see, the 1080 was about 500 bucks, add another $350, so you're looking at about $850 just for a docking station that is giving you almost the same frames per second, possibly some more stuttering than just going with the internal 1060. In that sense, is it worth it to you? To me, I can absolutely say no, it's not worth it. So the other option is, instead of going with a laptop eGPU setup, for almost the exact same price, you can get a full desktop enclosure. This was, again, off Craigslist. It cost me just at $300. It's got an i7 3770, 8 gigs of DDR3, and you just throw a GTX 1080 in here and you've got a full desktop. And that 3770 is not going to bottleneck a 1080 until you start looking into running, you know, 144 hertz something like that, which I'm not doing. I'm sitting here at 75 hertz on my monitor. So as you can see by the benchmarks, that is going to give you a lot more frames per second for your dollar than going with something like an eGPU setup. So it's all about what you intend to do. For me, I've got a gaming laptop that I can take on the go. The idea was to have something nice, quiet, a lot of performance here at home, and the eGPU solution didn't work out. Technically did it work, yes, but was it the right way to go? Unfortunately not. So we tried out, like I said, the used desktop, and as you see by the graphs, the frames per second, it's a lot more practical. It's super quiet, and it just makes a lot more sense. So these are the options you need to think about when you're thinking about going with the eGPU setup. Ultimately, what do you want, and what is going to give you the best performance for your money? In this case, it's the used desktop with the GTX 1080. But that's all for this video, guys. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and get subscribed. Let me know what you think, and let me know what you want to see, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.